Alaska Governor Sarah Palin is embroiled in controversy in her home state. She's accused of using her political power to settle a family matter. Details from ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross.
It's a local scandal that's become national news. A family feud and allegations of lies and cover-up that were big news in Alaska, but unknown to the rest of the country until Sarah Palin became a national figure. The trooper in TrooperGate is the ex-husband of the governor's sister, Mike Wooten, accused of making threats against his former in-laws. The allegation against the governor, which she denies, is that she wanted Wooten fired and pushed the public safety commissioner to do it.
No, absolutely not. No, I've never.
But the head of a state Senate committee, a Democrat, now investigating, says it smacks of abuse of power.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you should never use your public office to settle a private score. And that's what the legislature is looking into, is to what degree did the governor's personal family relationship inject or get introduced into her work as governor.
The case broke into the open when the trooper's boss, Walter Monaghan, the Alaska Public Safety Commissioner, was fired by the governor. In a telephone interview with ABC News Today, Monaghan says he was dismissed because he refused to fire the governor's brother-in-law trooper.
I believe I was fired because of primarily the reason of her former brother-in-law. I think that my unwillingness to take special action against her former brother-in-law was not well received.
And Monaghan says he believes the governor has not told the truth about what happened.
I think there are some questions now that come into light about how transparent and how honest she wants to be.
The governor says the case of her brother-in-law had nothing to do with her decision to fire the public safety commissioner.
It has absolutely nothing to do with replacing the commissioner as we're trying to move forward with more energy in a new department. Trooper Wooten's issues have nothing to do with Walt Monaghan.
But the governor's denials began to be challenged with the release of a tape of a telephone call between a member of her staff, Frank Bailey, and a state police official. Bailey asking why the reluctance to fire the brother-in-law.
The Palins can't figure out why nothing's going on. And here's the problem that's going to happen is that there is a possibility, because Wooten is an ex-husband of the governor's sister, and that there's, a custody situation, there is a strong possibility that the governor herself may get subpoenaed to talk about all this stuff on the stand right over the next coming months, which would be...
That's not good.
It would be ugly.
Right.
I mean, and I don't think anybody wants that, but, Todd and Sarah are scratching their heads, why on earth hasn't... why is this guy still representing the department?
And then later, a more direct reference to the commissioner, Walt Monaghan.
And I'm telling you, honestly, I mean, she really likes Walt a lot, but on this issue, she feels like she doesn't know why there's absolutely no action for a year on this issue. It's very, very troubling to her and the family.
The governor has told reporters in Alaska the phone call was harmless.
And it seemed to be he just inquiring, I think, kind of process, what do you do if there are complaints against a trooper, and what is the status of this trooper? And though you will hear on the CD, that it does sound like he's calling on behalf of the governor, on Sarah. He refers to me as Sarah. He's asking on behalf of me.
Senator French says Governor Palin has a serious credibility gap.
There's the issue of the Frank Bailey call, suggesting that the Palins are upset, the Palins are confused, the Palins don't understand why this person's still working for the Department of Public Safety. So there's, I believe, evidence out there that's going to be damaging to the governor's position.
As for the fired public safety commissioner, Monaghan, he says he is disappointed in a woman for whom he once had high regard.
It disappoints me, and it's because I expected more from her. I expected so much more. And I just wished it hadn't. None of this gives me either pride or pleasure being involved in this, because I've been part of the government. Bottom line is, I would like to see the truth, that's all.
That member of Governor Palin's staff heard on the phone call, Frank Bailey, was supposed to testify today before the Senate committee investigating the affair. But his lawyers said Bailey would not show up because the governor's lawyers were preparing to challenge the committee's right to investigate. The committee chairman says it's an obvious delay tactic, blaming the McCain campaign for trying to prevent the committee from releasing its final report on the scheduled date of October 31st, just 4 days before the election. Brian Ross, ABC News, St. Paul.